I'm exhausted. I did 2 videos. Well, I did a video on Friday night, and then I just finished publishing the last video. And you guys want another one? No, I want to do another one. I mean, dishes and laundry. I mean, I've got all winter to get that stuff done. So, and you know what? I'll be perfectly honest. Couple of cocktails. I'm just saying. So if this video is more, more goofier than usual, that's why. So, and yes, I shaved, a little bit. I don't know. Do you like it? Do you like it better? Um, I don't know. Anyway. So, let's keep going with your questions and comments. All right. How about that? Do you want to do that? Is that something that, do you want to? Okay. Aurelia says, and I've responded to her a couple of times. Aurelia, and I told her that's just it's a really pretty first name. I just like the name. So and Aurelia, every time I see it, I'm like, I I kind of like feeling like pronouncing it Aurelia. Yeah, how you doing, Aurelia? I don't know. I've got like 3 of these hats, so my Australian hats. Yeah, those are going in the desert with me. All right, so she says, sorry. Um, Hi, Jim. Would you consider getting a dog for company when you go on the road? Enjoyed your video. Take care. Glad you enjoyed whatever video that was. Can't remember, but yes. And we've talked about it a little bit. I mean, well, maybe quite a bit, you guys. But yes, almost every full time RVer has at least one. I've seen up to 4. I've seen people with up to 4 dogs in their camper. Some people have 3 cats, you know, which, if you have more than 2 cats, I'm not, you fill in the blank. More than 3 pets, I don't know. But anyway, yes, I love dogs. Dooty dooty doo, going for a walk, right? So, and I envision it, you guys, and you guys know Heidi, my previous Rottweiler, she was the sweetest thing. My neighbors were terrified of her. She was probably 80 pounds, solid muscle. And she's like, well, see if I can do a female Schwarzenegger. All right, I'm going on a walk. I'm going on a walk. And we're going to go over there. But she was very intimidating looking, but she was the most sweet, affectionate, loyal, intelligent, highly trainable. I did a lot of training with her. She was the best dog I've ever had, and I've had a lot of dogs. Athletic, throwing the ball, and she would, and she sprained her ankle a couple times because we were out in the snow, so when your joints get cold, you have a much more likely chance of like spraining something, right? It's science, I think. But the poor thing, I threw the frisbee or whatever, and she ran, and she's like, "Oh," and I'm like, "Oh, honey," So I wrapped her up in a ace bandage, and she was like, "Thanks, Dad. I know you love me," and I loved her so much, but I told you guys before, but our schedules just didn't jive. I was working full time downtown St. Paul that way, full time. So she was here alone in the house, and I had security cameras set up in here. So, I could kind of keep track of her and see what she's doing. And she's in the kitchen now, she's eating or whatever. She just laid around all day. slept or whatever. So when I got home from work and I'm exhausted, I remember laying on the couch and, trying to take a nap. Well, and she came up to me and with her nose, she's like nudging my arm and she's doing the hoofing thing. Dad, uh, uh, Dad, and I'm like, what do you, and I didn't understand, but she wanted to go out and play because she's been laying around all day. So I felt really bad, but I had to give her up because it was just not fair to her. To be, our schedules just, broke my heart. But Michael, the my buddy at work that I've talked about on here lately, one of his friends was looking for a dog, and so Michael and I were talking, and so Heidi got adopted, by Michael's friend. So I feel good about that. But yeah, you guys, bringing a dog on the road, lots of advantages. Security. If you have a dog in your trailer, they're the first ones to know if something's going on outside, right? So yeah, and the companionship, just hanging out by the fire, and because I'm not going to have a wife, so I keep saying that. Sorry, but going on walks and just the exercise and all you know the great stuff that dogs give us. The dogs just give and give and give, right? Um, they love us. I, you guys, I will probably get a dog someday after I'm on the road. And once I figure out what I'm doing, get my routine down, then maybe introduce a dog but the reason I would think to not get one right away, um, I want to spend a lot of time training. And so right now, I just don't have the time for training because I'm supposed to be doing dishes and laundry and throwing stuff out, right? So right now is not a good time to bring a dog, into my house right now. I mean, don't want her to get electrocuted, right? And I mean, the expense is another thing, like vet visits and all the meds and stuff. The heartworm and the vaccinations and all that, and Spark, excuse me, Spark. Um, but the dog food and all the treats and all the toys and stuff, the bowls and all the collars and leashes and all that stuff. Yeah, I spent a lot of money on Heidi, um, and I loved every minute of it. Um, kind of like Petco. It's like, no, don't go into Petco because I'll end up with $100 worth of stuff in my cart, right? But yeah, she got spoiled. We had a blast, you guys. Um, on my other channel, I have videos of her and I playing in the backyard, but I might put one up here. But yeah, the cost. I have a really really strict budget. When I leave here, I'm leaving here hopefully debt free. The only thing left right now is my truck. I have um, I have 14 grand left on my truck. And so when I sell my motorcycle, which is hopefully going to be, I'm hoping to get like 6,800 or something like that for it, which is going to break my heart too, you guys. Selling my motorcycle, which was another love of my life. Oh, that's going to be hard. But so anyway, I'm going to leave the curb here debt free, no debt, and especially after I sell the house, sell the house and then big chunk of money in the bank, in case I blow up my trailer, I'll just go buy another one or whatever. The trailer was only 14 grand, so I got a good deal on that. But so the cost of having a dog, um, and a lot of parks, national parks, will not allow dogs on the trail. They're just not allowed. And certain beaches and stuff, when you go, no dogs allowed, no pets, because obviously people are irresponsible and they don't pick up the poop, right? So, but and I'm used to that. It doesn't bother me at all. The bags, you put it on your hand and you just, I won't get into the details, but we're not going to talk about temperature or anything. Right? But and I plan on being very active when I get on the road. Like I told you the story about Lori is very active and she's been through stuff, but she runs and does all that. Well, when I get on the road, yeah, hiking and I told you before, I'm gonna bring my fat bike, with the big tires and doing a lot of biking and stuff. Fishing in my inflatable kayak. Can I bring Heidi in there? Well, and I'm planning on getting another Rottweiler. I would not get any, well, I won't say that. I wouldn't get any other breed, but Rottweiler is the number one breed that I would get if I was going to get a dog. But have my next Heidi or Heidi number two. You know what we should do? I should put a thing out on posts and have a contest for name my new dog. Where you guys give me ideas. I thought of Sandy as the name for my new dog because we're out in the desert and she comes in the camper and she's got stuff on her paws, right? Sandy, right? So maybe we'll do that. Maybe we'll see. But where was I, you guys? Are you following along? I'm not. Being very active. So having her in my inflatable kayak, I thought about that too. I've got some foam stuff that is down in the weight room downstairs that I never use, but I'm gonna. These foam pads, put that in the bottom of the kayak so her claws don't rip a hole or something. I don't know. And it's a 2-person kayak. It's rated for, I don't know, 400 pounds as I'm losing weight going on keto. So anyway, yeah, geez, and it's the end of the day. The fire is going out. Um, should we go to bed, honey? Let's go to bed. So we go in the camper, and yes, of course, Rottweilers want to sleep with you. I told you about that before, but I didn't know that when I got her. I had her bed on the floor next to my bed, and she kept jumping on my bed, and I kept, taking her off and found out later, broke my heart. That's how Rottweilers show affection. They want to sleep with you. So yes, yeah, I'll probably buy or so maybe one of these great big expensive, dog beds. They're like over $100. But I'm thinking about maybe sewing one because I have a sewing machine. I know how to use it, kind of, a little bit, maybe. I don't know. I'm thinking pool noodles, around the outside, sew it so that there's room for a pool noodle in there, right? I'm not as dumb as I look. So I don't know. We'll see how that goes. But yeah, Aurelia, having a dog, I would love, love, love having a dog. But is she gonna slow me down if I want to go on a fast bike ride? Is she gonna be able to? Well, she'll keep up with me because fat bikes are slow. But fishing and hiking and all this other stuff, and honey, I'm sorry, I'm gonna go fishing. I just want to relax and just be in my kayak. And so I put her in the camper, and she'll sleep all day like Heidi did. Sandy will sleep all day, or whatever name you guys come up with. We'll have a vote or something. But so yeah, does that make sense? It's a huge responsibility. Um, you can't. I'm down south in Arizona. It's 100 degrees outside. Yeah, you can leave the windows down, but it still gets really, really hot in there. I'm in Walmart, shopping for, and especially if I decide to give her like a raw food diet, which I really want to do because that's the healthiest thing instead of buying, crappy, dog food in big bags, yeah, no, I'm gonna buy her chicken legs and, um, and they say the trick is do not cook the chicken before you give it to your dog because the bones get really brittle. When you cook your chicken, yeah, the bones are, and the dog can swallow a bone and like, it'll splinter and it's really bad. But if you give your dog raw bones, they're fine. So they can usually chew it up or whatever. And, but so yeah, I would probably do like a bagged, really high quality bagged dog food with, for her. But again, dog food is really, really heavy, right? If you buy a big bag of it, I have to worry about weight because the stupid batteries are over 200 pounds, right? So anyway, so lots of stuff going through my head as far as getting a dog, you guys. There's like weighing all the pros and cons and whatnot. So thanks, Aurelia. Thanks for the question. Yeah, I think about it all the time. I think about it like every day. So yeah, great question. Thanks. Let's do the next one. How about that? All right. Okay, so you know what they say? They say, leave them wanting more. But 1, 2, 3 videos this weekend. Oh. So you guys are on overload, right? So don't freak out if it's like 2 weeks, before the next one, because I got to get stuff done that I should have done today. So it's all your fault because I have fun doing this. Hope you had fun. Hope you giggled or whatever, So anyway, thanks for everything, you guys. And I'll talk to you later, all right? Maybe, I don't know. Maybe, we'll see. But have a good one, and I'll talk to you later. All right. Thanks a lot. Bye.